Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. Jerome Powell in 19 of the G20 countries working on the CBDCs are coming. I can tell you that. Ethereum ETF, where is it? We're going to talk about it. Former president on crypto and Bitcoin, and things are changing. Automated market maker vote, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into it. And David Schwarz on automated market makers. It's not like winning the lottery at all. And a monster breakout awaits us. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $2.84 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 2.7%. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. 71,900 plus for Bitcoin. She's pumping, baby. New all-time highs. Yeah, so excited for it. 4,000 plus for Ethereum. Regardless of all these things we know about these different projects, I'm an investor, okay? We've been made aware of what to watch out for, the risk involved, just like we spent over 2.5 years entertaining the notion that made us want to vomit about XRP being a security somehow, right? So we're not afraid to know the things about Bitcoin. We're not afraid to understand the things about ETH and the free pass, but we're not afraid to understand the things about XRP either, right? So there it is. Looking at the market like a real investor here. Look, I'm glad I got exposure to some of these things, and I hope that you guys do too. 62 cents for XRP right now, up 1.3, but still off by 4.5 on the 7-day. But as we know, history tells us when Bitcoin gets an all-time high and then there's that retracement, watch out. You could see altcoin season kick in, ladies and gentlemen, and it goes quick when it happens. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's what history says to look out for. Right here, ranging between 59 and 63 cents. We're sitting at 62.14. We'll keep an eye on it as we move forward. I do want to tell you right now, if you haven't got your ticket for XRP Las Vegas, this weekend was a mad dash for the general admission tickets. 2-day ticket. I'm telling you, this is going to be a remarkable, immersive, interactive conference. You are going to be up close and personal with not only some of the speakers and keynote people from the stage, but these companies that are there. And I just got off of a meeting with another one that's about to come. You're going to lose your mind. I'm telling you, get your ticket. This is going to be a great event, and don't mess around and go ahead and get that ticket before it runs out to have private dinner with Brad Garlinghouse and support the Digital Chamber of Commerce all in one fell swoop, and it's a tax write-off because it's a charitable donation. So make sure you get that ticket. And I'm supporting them in that event, but I don't have anything to do with that event directly, so you have to reach out to them if you have questions. But let me tell you, 52 days and counting, this is already going to be an amazing event. But remember, VIP tickets are sold out right now, but GA tickets are still available. Get them while they're still available, please. This is going to be a remarkable, remarkable conference. And listen, and I say that understanding that, you know, you're going to hear from Jerome Powell today, and he's getting ready to tell you that Atlantic Council's getting ready to tell us, as Jerome Powell knows too, 19 out of the 20 G20 nations are in development of CBDCs. So you can guess who the 20th one is. Get your ticket. This is a big deal. You know, Andy Schectman, Lynette Zhang, gold, tokenization, how it supports the new financial system. I'm sitting down having a fireside chat with Christian Carlo. We're going to talk about how to keep the dollar dominant as we move into this new digital age. It is a must for every United States citizen to understand what needs to happen for the success of the dollar in our country. No question about it. Now, listen, this is a very, very big deal. Okay, this guy and his team have been working so hard on this project. We're talking about X Spectre, and today it is officially live with their beta. And look at this. Look at this, what they've done. How amazing this looks right here. I say one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And why do I say that? Because we all understand how big the gaming metaverse world is already and will become. That's what we're talking about here. And this is truly remarkable. And one day, you're going to see me in the metaverse. I can tell you that. We're going to be inside the metaverse. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. But look, this is remarkable. I've watched this a few times already this morning, and I can't even imagine the level of detail that's been put into this, the time and effort, how many years. This is not a week's worth of work. This is years worth of work here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. It is a marvel. It is a marvel. What a beautiful project. Shout out to Dirk and everybody there, Bob Way and the whole team. This is just getting started. So super excited for them. Shout out to them. I tell you, wow. Keep your head on a swivel. Okay, speaking of head on a swivel here, it's Jake Travinsky from the Blockchain Association. He says, it brings me no joy to be an ETF bear. He's been working for Ethereum in one sense or another for 5+ years. I want the ETH to be approved. It should be approved. But I'm calling it like I see it, and I see the SEC that dislikes crypto as a concept, sees no value in technology, and thinks attacking it is politically advantageous. 2, seeks to please progressive elected officials and third-party observers who have made anti-crypto core part of their platform and vocally criticize the SEC for approving spot Bitcoin ETFs, even after the grayscale opinion. And then also the SEC has a wrong but insane basis for denial spot futures correlation, which might be foreclosed by the grayscale opinion, but not necessarily given how the DC Circuit framed its ruling as a failure by the SEC to justify its position. Not as absolute judgment on the correlation issue could come with new grounds for denial that weren't tested by grayscale in court, which would likely also be subject to a court challenge, but may be easier for the SEC to justify. It goes on to say, SEC is willing to take litigation risk and lose in court based on a preference for being viewed as fighters in a war against crypto rather than accused of rolling over, and, as you know, appears to be making little effort to work on the details necessary for approval and listing, instead seeming to focus on diligence, RE correlation, perhaps to build up its basis for denial. To be clear, Jake says, I'm not saying there's a no chance for a spot ETF to be approved this year. I'm saying that general sentiment in this early mid-bull market is overestimating the chance of approval given all of the political and strategic factors weighing against it. The good news is that we'll likely get more signal about which direction the SEC is leaning over the coming weeks. Recall the SEC foreshadowed the spot BTC approval with all the work it did on the details the days leading up to the January deadline. If we don't start seeing those signs and hearing those reports as a May 23rd deadline approaches, that silence will speak volumes. He's absolutely right here. The only thing I think that he missed is ETHgate and the free pass. Jake, love the work the Blockchain Association is doing from the Capitol Hill. But I have to say, to ignore the complication of approving an ETH ETF because of the free pass is missing one of the core components here. I don't say this as a maxi. I say this because it happened, right? Just like we know that for some reason the NYDFS took XRP off the green list after it was awarded a judgment by Judge Torres that XRP in and of itself was not a security, and somehow the NYDFS took XRP off the green list. Now, how'd that happen? Then we also know that Prometheum plans to list Ethereum. However, they plan to list it as a security. We know Prometheum is obviously a show pony for the SEC. We also know that Prometheum is tied to CCP. So, Ethereum, it's a funny situation because, the SEC, if they bring litigation against Ethereum, you can bet Joseph Lubin's going to be bringing that little piece of paper he said he had in his pocket out, and all the conversations and emails that he's probably recorded just like Stephen Nureyev did, right? And the SEC cannot risk that. That's what I think. So this is going to get pretty awkward before it gets better. But I do think ultimately we will see ETH ETFs, as we will see thousands of ETFs of cryptocurrency projects. Now let's talk about this. As federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said no immediate plans for U.S. CBDC. Well, that's fine by me because I don't want one on the retail side. They can do it on the wholesale side if they want. But Powell reassured the committee and the public that the concept of a digital dollar is still under study, and that the implementation is not on the horizon. He stressed the importance of privacy and the traditional role of banks, indicating that the Fed would not support a system that allows government visibility into individual transactions. Love hearing that. Powell's statement comes amid global developments in digital currencies, with other countries advancing their CBDC projects and political debates in the U.S. regarding the future of a digital dollar. This is why it's so important. This is going to be a heavy conversation with Christian Carlo. And I've already worked out a soft outline here with him, and you are not going to want to miss this conversation. And I assure you, a majority of this conversation, you have never heard Christian Carlo speak on it before. That is not to sell this conference. It is to let you know I don't want you to miss what's going to happen on that stage. According to the Atlantic Council CBDC tracker, 19 of the G20 nations are now in advanced stages of CBDC development, with 9 of them in pilot. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. And the world will never be the same when it gets here. Let's listen to the former president right here talk about how he feels. And listen, things are changing. I remember when this guy said he was not into Bitcoin and it wasn't going to be around and he was going to make sure of it. And I'm paraphrasing, but he was not a fan. Now listen to what he's saying now, because this is obviously, as Chad rightfully says here, this is a campaign issue. This cycle. There's no question. There's no getting around about it. You know, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. also highly made Bitcoin a campaign issue. Vivek Ramaswamy, before he dropped out, was also making it a campaign issue. So it's now very serious from this former president who intends to run again.
Well, it's taken its own life. You know, I do little things sometimes for fun and, you know, make money with it, but I have fun with it too.
You mean
NFTs.
You bought Bitcoin?
No. But I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin, or will let people get involved in a new. It's, you know, if you think of it, it's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, you know, I want one currency. I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way. But I will tell you, it has taken on a life. I did a thing that people smile at, but it was wild. We did 1,000 sneakers, so limited edition sneaker run. The last one, and you could go through, you know, our crazy new currencies, because that's what I call them. They're crazy, whether it's Bitcoin or others. And so many people were buying these things, and ultimately the last pair of sneakers sold for approximately, I hear, $450,000. It was a limited edition, a run. They were gold. They were, you know, nice, cute. And we thought it was just a very small thing. It was a branding thing, and had a good time with it. The last pair sold for $450,000. People were going crazy for these sneakers. You probably were too. Everybody was. I have every friend I have has called me for a pair of sneakers. So it just took off. And I noticed that so many of them were paid for with this, with the new currency. And it is that. It's a new cryptocurrency. And I couldn't believe the amount. And I'm saying, you know, this thing has really, and other things I do, people are using it. And, you know, I would be, I'm very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from when I was there. It's make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And and frankly, and I know Jay feels strongly about this, and Jay did a fantastic job, by the way, in a group where there's always scandal and problems. Jay went through 4 years. There wasn't one scandal. I don't know, Jay, maybe you can tell me, but
Well, I can help you out, Mr. President. Jay had trouble on his last day in office when he dropped that lawsuit like a spineless coward and then left. And you tell me that there isn't a problem there, and I'll tell you, you got real problems too, okay? Because that was a problem. Jay did not do a good job while he was there.
There wasn't one scandal. That is the most scandalous position.
ETHgate.
Because it involves massive amounts of money. With Jay Clayton, we had no scandals.
ETHgate.
Zero, nothing whatsoever. So I thought it was
ETHgate.
great. But I have seen there has been a lot of use of that, and I'm not sure that I'd want to take it away at this point.
There you go. I'm not sure if I'd want to take it away at this point. And now he realizes it's grown too much attention and too much desire. And obviously with the spot ETFs, you know, it's going to be hard to unwind those, right? Because we're talking about Bitcoin has passed silver. That's what's happened. Saw that this morning too. I should have pulled that for you. But let's take a look at this, because this is what you really want to know about right here, isn't it? Yeah. You want to hear David Schwarz talk on stage about this too, don't you? I bet you do. March 22nd, and we're already at 91+% on the votes, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. Yeah, but let's learn a little something here. David Schwarz views XRP not as a speculative gamble, but as a volatile asset with the potential for gradual appreciation. I think this is a great way to put it. Doesn't see XRP as a lotto ticket. He goes on to say here, and I've actually got the tweet. So let's start with Vet, who's been doing an amazing job keeping all of us, whether we're developers or not, in the loop of what's happening. This guy's a great communicator. The XRP Ledger automated market maker is in activation, and it says, and I see a ton of posts claiming passive income for XRP holders after activation, and that you never need to sell your XRP. They are taking advantage of the inexperienced community members with DeFi. The XRP Ledger AMM is not giving you any income for holding XRP. You need to give your XRP to the AMM, aka provide liquidity and actually interact with it. Giving your XRP or any issued token to the AMM makes it available to be bought and sold by swappers. And it says, highly recommend taking a few minutes to go through the AMM basics here. This is a great way to understand it, right? So you don't want to understand it like, oh, I'm just, you know, letting you borrow. Like, you are putting it in there and it's getting used, right? And then that's why that dynamic can change in the ratio of trading. Now, you have here, and God bless David for, you know, him answering people regardless of how they, you know, say things sometimes. But, you know, nevertheless, this is a great question. Is it still not a form of passive income, making your money in a sense work for you via the liquidity pool? And David says, yes, but the mechanic is different from things like staking. To get passive income from XRP with the automated market maker, you have to trade your XRP for claims against the automated market maker pools, which comes in the form of liquidity tokens, right? So then you have, while they hold XRP, you can reclaim XRP on demand. You are not guaranteed to get as much out as you put in. So you could see immediately how that's different than staking. You're not just simply staking it and then unlocking it, right? You are putting it inside the liquidity pool, the automated market maker pool, and you're getting liquidity tokens, LP tokens, right, in return. That's what's happening. So then Black Sheep says, wait, I thought you mentioned before that we would be getting back less the value we put in, and now subject to pulling out less value that we put in. And he says, it comes down to how you define value and what you compare the automated market maker to. For example, if XRP goes down in price a lot, but you get out slightly more XRP than you put in, did you get more or less value? You know, this is why it's so important. I'm telling you, you know, this is why we do this conference, because it's not for me. I'm going to be on stage one time. It is not the Brad Show. This is the XRP community show. This is about all of you. And what we're putting together, my wife and I, we're doing it for you. And I'm telling you, this is probably going to be one of the most important conferences that you've ever attended because of the things that are happening right now to the XRP ledger and what ideas and understandings of these concepts and these new features may change about what you know about how you hold and use XRP in your own life or business. So it's very important. Now let's look at this. Monster breakout is about to take place. This is XRP Captain right here. Shout out to XRP Captain. He says, I cannot express my happiness. I can't either. And I know all of you feel the same way. But remember, we're at the top of this triangle. It looks super bullish here. But it could come all the way back down. And it could even go below, just like it has done here and here in the past. And that'd be okay, because when it did it here, it went all the way to there. So if it wants to do it again, I have no problem with it, like I'm sure you don't either. But nevertheless, remember, there is a lot of room to go here. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. And here's another chart that looks very similar here, just showing you this baseline, 2017, 2021, 2024. So this is what it did in 17 before it went up. And this is what it did in 21. It touched that same area before it went to 192. And then we have where we are now. So will we repeat and dip down and hit this range in this area before repeating the up? I don't know. But you better have a strong stomach just in case it does. We're going into the Freedom Zone. You can do it too at digperspectives.com, or click the link underneath the video and join us in the Freedom Zone today. We're diving into the Rothschilds family. You're going to want all of this history. This is how you know that the family and all of the banks they're involved in around the world have been funding both sides of every conflict known to man. No doubt about it. And you're about to get all that evidence right now in the Freedom Zone. Come on in. Not financial advice of me or anyone else. All right.